Hello and welcome to my review of this super heavy flyer, the Bumblebee. Hello and welcome to another very special Warhammer Wednesday. I'm living the dream. Before your eyes are two models, total cost £1,200. When I was a kid, I always dreamed of having a Space Marine Thunderhawk gunship. Not only do I have a gunship, I also have the model in front, which is a Sokar Pattern Stormbird. Stormbirds, never ever heard of them. Thought they were stuff of legends, massive things that, you know, assault marines could just fly out the back of and all the rest of it. Then Forge World happened. They created a Sokar Pattern Stormbird, smaller than, you know, the original Pattern Stormbird, and you can see that. You can see that the transition from a Stormbird to a Sokar Pattern was really the move forward to much smaller sort of assault landing crafts. The main deployment method for Space Marines, the evolution and the improvement over the design to eventually get a Thunderhawk. It was a move to a smaller orbital assault craft. So in front here you've got the Stormbird. Right here, one of these models will set you back £750, which is an astronomical amount of money, and I think it only represents about 0.1% of their entire range anyway. So it's not like most of the range are this price. It's a one-off. I think it's like the third most expensive model. You've got the Warlord, you've got the Tau Manta, then you've got this bad boy. Across the way is my newest addition to the chapter, which is a Thunderhawk. I'd love to get two Thunderhawks, I really would. I think two Thunderhawks flanking this Stormbird would look absolutely fantasing. I think one for now is fine, but the main purpose of this video is really just to do a huge sort of size comparison like I did with the Telemon Dreadnought. The Telemon Dreadnought is a huge dreadnought. It's the largest that they make now, and I thought it was fitting to make a specific video just for that. The Thunderhawk, it's a legendary vehicle in 41st millennium, especially to any Space Marine players. So again, I thought that a model such as that really deserves its own video. And it's to pay credit to the designer as well. He's a lovely chap. I spoke to him at the Warhammer Fest and really gave me some tips and tricks on the model itself. I think it's a fantastic model, and I think everyone should really have that in their Space Marine chapter, if they can afford it, of course. It's worth noting that the Thunderhawk, I think, was about £420 for quite some time. Then it was bumped up this year. This was the start of the year at £435. So when I heard that they were redoing it, I was expecting sort of £500, something like that. So £450. It's only really £15 more than the old model, and you do get so much more. You get the wonderful instruction booklet. It's much more easier to build. It's a joy to build rather than working off those disgusting sort of black and white photocopied pictures of parts. It goes together really well. There's only sort of one or two gaps. Everything else sort of hides the gaps, which is brilliant. It really is the Sakaran in terms of a big model now, in my opinion. The Stormbird I had a few problems with, the Warlord Titan I had a few problems with, but this Thunderhawk is really the pinnacle. It's the best model that they've done, the best big model that they've made, in my opinion. I've had hardly any issues at all with the model, and it was very quick, very fun to build. Once the parts are ready, you can build it in sort of 2 days. Quite straightforward. The main point of this video is to do like a big size comparison with the Stormbird. I'll change the camera angles and things, but also to do sort of size comparisons with other vehicles and things. And I'm also going to talk about the rules, comparing the two models, because I think they both deserve that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just show you a small sort of size comparison with the smallest Titan, the Warhound Scout Titan. I'll take it off the mount. It might be a bit wobbly, so just sort of bear with me. So there you go. You can see just the size comparison with a Warhound Titan. It is bigger than a Warhound Titan, definitely more so when you stand it up. The length of it is about the height of a Warlord Titan stood up. It's about 20 something inches. I think it weighs about 4 kilograms. Don't quote me on that though, but there you go. What I'll do is I'll put some more vehicles and things just to show you size comparison. So there you go, that's another sort of angle of the models. You've got a Land Raider there, you've got a Rhino, you've got a Dreadnought, you've got a Custodian Guard. It's almost as big as the Dreadnought now. So I hope that helps. I'll do sort of like a bird's eye view of the models to give you another sort of size comparison. And then we'll talk about the rules. Okay, and that is sort of as square on as I can get, sort of like a bird's eye view. Hope that helps. You can see that the Stormbird is sort of at least double the size width-wise as the Thunderhawk in terms of bulk. Those wings are absolutely huge, and the canards are just on a completely another level. The canards are those sort of extra wings near the cockpit, and obviously with the Stormbird you've got the extra sort of turbo jets and the extra sort of wings at the top there. So yeah, hopefully you can see that, and that's been useful for you. Before I decided to make this video, I was actually going to do like my most expensive models video, which I still will. And of course, typically they are the largest models. Put your thoughts below if I should include the Lucius pattern Warhound. I'm including the Mars pattern because they're now like £350 or so. But the Lucius only cost me £250 when they first came out. I think I should include it. Okay, so now that I've got a good angle, I'll just talk to you about the rules for both of these. I am leaning more towards the Stormbird just because it's larger and it's got better armour and things like that, bigger transport capacity. As sort of legions were broken up into chapters towards the end of the Horus Heresy, and chapters consisted of sort of like 1,000 Space Marines, whereas legions were, well, you had chapters in legions which were, you know, 10,000, and you had the legion itself being up to 100,000. I think the word bearers had 100,000. You got to see that through the Sokar Pattern Stormbird, there was this gradual shift. There was a need to make smaller assault craft, but quicker. The little black dot on the top right hand corner is actually that Bumblebee. He's sort of, I think he's got deep strike. He'll probably wander into the shot and take the limelight. Brilliant. Anyway, yeah, so you saw this gradual shift to smaller aircraft that could be mass produced and didn't take as many resources either. You know, you shoot down a Stormbird, that's quite a huge piece of machinery and quite a large investment for the Imperium to lose. Yes, it's got its void shields, and yes, it can project its void shields to protect the troops and things. It can carry any dreadnought. Don't know about the Telemon though. That's a good point. But either way, you know, and it is heavily armed. It's got those 6 missiles. You know, you can have the 4 twin-linked las cannons on its sides, and it can call in the orbital strike. So it's quite heavily armed. But if you compare that to the Thunderhawk has those 6 missiles. They're a little bit less strength, obviously, but it has the twin-linked las cannons to deal with armoured threats. It has the turbo laser, and it has the twin-linked las cannon, and it has all those 4 twin-linked heavy bolters. Yes, they're not operated by Space Marines, but still it's got the power machine spirit. It's very multi-purpose. It's got its transport capacity, which is the 30, which is fantastic. In the Horus Heresy, you could have the flare shield and the void-crafted hull, which gave it a bit more survivability. But still, more bang for your buck. You definitely get more with that Thunderhawk. You destroy a Thunderhawk, it's not a huge loss compared to a Cat. I think the Cat's just going to steal the limelight now as well. Oh no, off she goes. So yeah, it's not that much of a loss really compared to sort of like a Stormbird. So what I'll do is I'll just run through the points and the stats of both of them. And this is purely for 30k, and there's no sort of rules for the Sokar Pattern Stormbird in 40k. There might be in a future book, who knows. But the Sokar Pattern Stormbird is 850 points, and the Thunderhawk gunship with your turbo laser is 775 points. In a way, it's 75 points more just for that Stormbird. And what do you get? Well, you get armor front 14, which is very considerable compared to 12. You get side 13, again, an increase. Rear of 12, which of course Thunderhawk doesn't get unless you buy the upgrade of 12. And you get 12 hull points, so 3 hull points more. The war gear, it's obviously got the 4 turret mounted twin linked las cannons, which you can change to quad heavy bolters if you wish. I mean, quad heavy bolters, that's going to be insane. Because then it also has the 3 twin linked heavy bolters. So it has 1 on each wing, and then it has the rear one. So that's your 9 shots that are twin linked. But then you can have 4 quad heavy bolters. So that's 6, 12, so that's 24 plus the 9. It's 33 twin linked heavy bolted shots. 33. That's absolutely incredible when you think about it. 33. That would wipe out an awful lot of things. You can change the Dread Strike missiles to the macro bomb cluster payload for 50 points. The Dread Strike missiles though, they're 120 inch range, strength 10, AP2, ordnance 1, 3 blast, 1 use. So they're strength 10, but they're ordnance. Whereas obviously your Hellstrike missiles are a lot less range. They're only 72 inch and they're only strength 8, AP2, heavy 1 and 1 use. So it's still 1 use, but they have a little 3 inch blast. So the missiles are that much better. Increased range at 120, plus 2 strength, so the strength 10, and they're AP2 rather than AP3, and they're ordnance, which means they're rolling 2d6 and picking the highest. So the missiles are that much better. Heavy bolters, way more shots, especially if you have them in quad heavy bolters, or you can have them as the 4 twin link las cannons. Then it has its machine spirit again, the armoured ceramite, and it has this dual void shield generator. So it's got the void shields, which is an armour 12. So you have to get past that void shield, and also you can roll to restore it. It's got the shield projection of the 12 inches. It's got the reinforced structure too, which normally only Titans have. So there's a 5+ against any attacks that have breached it. So you have to get through the void shields to get through the armour, to then get through the reinforced structure. Transport capacity. So the Sokar, it can carry 50 models, but it can also put a Rhino in the back, and that occupies 25. So you could have a Rhino with a squad within, so that's 10 models plus the Rhino, and then 25 models on top of that. So you have 35 Space Marines and a Rhino in there, compared to the Thunderhawk's 30. Or you could just have 50 Space Marines, or you can have any Dreadnought of any type. And they count as 10 models. So that's 5 Dreadnoughts, 5 Leviathan Dreadnoughts, if you really, really wish. So not only is its armament better, yes, it doesn't have the turbo laser, but it does have the ability to drop an orbital strike with a limited range at a 7 inch blast and a D strength. So one would argue that's better because you can keep firing that. It doesn't say 1 use, so that's great. So its armament is better, its armour is better, and its capacity to transport things is better. And it's not really that many more points. You can have those quad bolters, heavy bolters, for free. You can have orbital strikes for 150, which I would strongly recommend. Then it makes it a nice rounded up 1,000 points for your Stormbird, as opposed to the Thunderhawk, which with the void-crafted hull and a flare shield, you're looking at about 860 points without an armoured cockpit or chaff launcher or ramjet diffraction grid. So 860 compared to 1,000, it's 140 points more really for that ability to carry those 50 Marines or Dreadnoughts, better armour, the void shields, which you can use on the ground as well because it's got hover. It's a no-brainer in game terms, really, because it's got so many more positives. But obviously fluff-wise, they wanted a smaller, sort of sleeker, faster deployment method for the chapter. That's all I really wanted to say about these two. What do you guys think about them? Obviously this video has taken a lot of money and a lot of time to bring you. Apologise that the Stormbird isn't complete yet. I've been working on other things, other bigger things, if you can believe that. It's now at a high priority. I'm trying to get finished Warhound Titan and the Stormbird is, I'm doing that as I'm trying to do the Warhound. When the Stormbird is complete, I will definitely bring you another video showcasing it built, and then probably another one when it's painted. Anyway, hope you found this enjoyable and useful. If you've got any questions about either of the models, please do put them in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.